Hey everybody, I'm Andrew from the Flutter Developer Relations team. With me is Philip, and today we're going to do some live coding. And Philip?
Yeah, we'd like to just like live code a whole app, maybe in parts. We're basically going to probably, do a lot of bugs, be stumped on things, and I think that that should be part of the experience of the video, so that you can see how we hopefully get out of these, pit holes.
Yeah, much like the people out there, we are very busy and underprepared.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Android Studio, we got that open.
Yeah. Well, do you want to talk about like what the app should look like and how it should be architected?
Sure, yeah, that's a good idea. We got a whiteboard.
If you're not familiar with Hacker News, it's basically what do you call it? It's a news app. People submit links, and these links are presented as a list, and that list is stack ranked according to some algorithm. And what we're doing today is very simple. We have a list of these articles somewhere, and we just want to make a pretty nice looking thing, an app for in Flutter that has the listings. The listing can be expanded if you click on it, and it will show you the link, which will open a browser window, and it will show you some stats maybe about the thing. So pretty easy, hopefully no big surprises.
And a bunch of people make apps like this, right? This is kind of like, it's similar to To-Do MVC.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
This is the new To-Do MVC, basically, what I hear. So let's get coding, right?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna start a new Flutter project, and it's going to be an application, and it's going to be called HNApp, let's say. So Flutter is going and getting the initial packages.
Okay, so this is Android Studio. You have the Flutter plugin installed already, right?
Correct, yes.
And that's just from the regular old Android Studio preferences.
Yes.
You go in and look for Flutter, and there it is.
Correct.
Cool. Okay.
So what we're going to work with is probably iOS Simulator, just because, I don't know. And so what we have when we create a new app in Android Studio, a new Flutter app, we get this application that most of you probably have seen hundreds of times. So let's run it. This will do all the magic that Xcode does normally when launching an application, but then we'll be able to, hot reload and everything.
So you're loading, you're building an iOS app in Android Studio.
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
just checking.
You should be used to this, by the way, but okay.
There it goes.
So this is the old and good old counter app. So what I'll do first is that I'll just get rid of everything that we don't need, right? We don't need this. We don't need this. We don't need the counter. We don't need this. This. As you can see, it's very well documented. We don't.
Yeah, not bad for a out of the box app state.
Hello. And we don't need a floating action button, so we're fine. Okay.
So we're not posting anything, right?
So let's do a reload. What do we get? Okay, hello.
So what just happened when you did that? We should probably talk about that.
We should?
Yeah, because you didn't like fully recode that app, right? It took like a second to do what you just did, right?
That's right. Yes, I did a full restart. It's not a hot reload because I knew that I deleted things, state things. But otherwise, yeah, you're basically, when it's launched in your simulator, you get to do a bunch of stuff with your app, and the .vm that's running in the simulator now will just get the new things and will update the app on the fly. So that's really nice, because I think we'll see that as we go along. All right, so we cheated a little bit because we prepared a list of articles as if we already took it from the JSON API that Hacker News provides. Just so like we will probably use some of the future videos to maybe show like how you would do this. But let's assume that we already did the work and we have the list of articles and it's loaded. So
Okay.
I have it over here. So we'll create
Okay, so we have like a data class, a data object, and we've got some mocked out data that we can use.
That's correct, yes.
To get the UI going. Perfect.
So, Dart file. We'll call this articles or article. And so, as you can see, this is a very simple class that just has some fields, and it has a cost constructor because this is an immutable object, and then we have what I just like basically copy pasted with some regex magic from actual Hacker News. So this is very current at this point of time.
Yeah, everybody is going to know when we film this. They can go back and search for these search for these headlines.
And we have that. So we can import it and try to show it.
Cool.
So, okay, import article, yes. Let's try this. The easiest way is just we have a list of article and it's articles. This is ugly, but
that's okay. It's a mock. So
yeah.
The other file is exporting that articles list.
That's correct.
As articles, which is like just a global, variable hanging out in the global namespace.
Yes.
Okay.
We could let's wait until together. We can make things more real and a little bit harder on ourselves. But let's start with this. I think it's a good way. So this is a column with children. We could intentionally break the app, I think, now if we just did this.
Why not?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna, instead of doing a column of widgets, I'm going to do articles and map, and each article will become its own widget. So article becomes new text, let's say.
Yeah, just do a text with the article title or something like that.
They call it text, right? Oh, and it's a list.
There we go.
Okay. So if we start now, okay, so it actually works. I hope that it will break. It should be, so maybe if we had more articles, I don't know. You definitely cannot scroll with this.
That's a good point. Yeah, do you want to take a second? Let's talk about the structure of what we got here.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a build method, right? What class are we in right now? So it's...
This is the... Okay, so this is the app. Okay, so this is main. We start with main. We just call this Flutter function that just just runs your main widget as an app. So your app, like everything in Flutter is a widget. Your app is a widget. So you have to say, this is the main widget, right? So run app. My app doesn't really have much except for building. And then we have homepage. We wouldn't, like, in theory, we don't even have to have two widgets here. We could just have the homepage. But in later episodes, we'll have more than just the homepage. We'll have detail pages and stuff like this. So it's a good way to start. And then we have the state of the homepage. And that has a build method. And that build method can, state, like, according to the current state, can draw the widget.
Okay, so let me see if I followed this. We have a main method that calls run app on this app class that you made. And there was something called a material app in there.
Right.
What is that doing?
Yes, that's again another widget. We can actually, this is nice because like everything is in Dart, so you can go like very much like.
So we have source for this.
Yes,
That's cool.
So,
Okay.
So this so as you can see, Material App is a widget that brings a lot of things together. It's basically like convenience widget, because if you went through this and looked at the build method well, you'd see that it's just basically a lot of widgets inside each other. One thing about being a framework full of widgets is what I think some people call extreme composition over inheritance. So it's like if you want to add behavior to anything, you just wrap it in a widget. You don't like add you don't inherit anything from anything else. So you get all these like pretty deeply nested trees of widgets, and they together they create an app. So yeah, so this is Material App. The Material App has some cool things, like it's very easy to do at home. It's easy to add things like initial root.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
Yes. But we're not going to use any of that.
Glad.
Yeah. And then you go with a homepage, and homepage is it doesn't, it's not a material thing. It's just a page, and in that page there's a scaffold, which is a material thing. Scaffold is basically what you see here, and again, scaffold has a lot of nice things, like you can have app bar, which in our case is just text.
So that's where the title comes from at the top.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes. Then we have the body, obviously, but you can also have floating action buttons. You can have footer buttons, drawers from left and right, or I should say from start and end.
Start and end, depending on which language.
Yes.
Okay.
And many other things. So these are all widgets, and what we're working on now is basically just this. So we have this body, and in this body we have a center, which we don't need actually. Let's get rid of it.
And there's still looks the same. Okay.
Yeah. No, because we are centering a column that goes all the way from left to right, so it doesn't do anything really. We would have to do this, like we would have to center this widget for this to be maybe. Nope. See? I don't know.
This is fun.
Oh, maybe this one. This is why. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So the good news is that because this thing reloads so quickly, we can just mess around and figure out what works and just keep saving our changes and causing it to reload and see what happens.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think what we want to do now is to start working on these items, right? So right now we're just creating a text widget for them, which is not very exciting. So basically all this episode will just spend on this few lines, on this one line right now. Let me create a build item, create a method. And so build item will create a widget.
Wow, so it knew the signature for the method based on what you were using with map there. That is pretty slick.
Yeah, yes. I like that. We can just do this. We don't need this now. And now Hotdrill should. Oh, is this because I said E?
Green of death.
Yeah. Okay. So this is cool. I actually wanted to do this because see, we're in an error state, and I recovered from this, and I'll just run safe, and it'll hot reload. And if we were in any kind of state, as in like we had something in our card, or we were in a sub screen somewhere, it would just recover there, which I think is pretty cool because you can screw up, it will throw all these errors at you, but it will still keep the state. And if you hot reload, you get back to it. So like for example, if e text starts with let's say data, return null. Okay.
So you just intentionally...
Yeah, I'm trying to intentionally break just one of these, and it doesn't let me, unfortunately. How do I... yeah, it knows that I cannot do null here. How do I break it so that it's...
Would you need separate build methods? Like up here, since you're doing one build, it can only break once? Then it breaks the whole way, or... So you saying that under some circumstances you'll have like one widget broken and the rest of the UI will look okay?
Yeah. That's definitely something that happens, but I don't know how to do it.
Well, I'm sure we'll have plenty of chances, I assume, to screw this up in all sorts of wonderful ways.
All right, so back to business. I'm just article. So how do we make this prettier? This is nice, but maybe not so nice.
The data is technically on the screen.
Yeah. I kind of hoped at the start, I hope that just having column here is a bad idea. And it is a bad idea because you cannot scroll, you cannot do anything. Actually, maybe I can make it break a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm just about breaking things. So let's do style. And font size is gonna be something big, right? Thank you. So
yeah, what is that?
All right, so we made the text so big that we are actually getting over the allocated space of body, and that's because we have a column, and column doesn't support like being scrollable or anything like that. So Flutter helpfully, this is a debug build, so helpfully Flutter says, hey, you're trying to render something that's smaller on a big on a surface that is smaller, so I'm going to give you these things that basically tell you, hey, you're overreaching in this direction. You probably want something else than column.
And then did something pop up in the console as well?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry for the small text, but basically this is explaining what happened.
That's a long error message.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which I love. So I love that. Let's fix this by maybe using a widget that just does scroll. Right?
Okay.
Something.
So there's a widget for everything, including scrolling.
Yes.
Okay.
How about we use a widget that is a list view?
Okay.
Because we have a list, and we want to view it, and there we go. We have a list view. Right?
That was quick.
What other things do we? Yeah, as you can see, like you can do all some. This can be, the axis can be horizontal, so we can actually scroll to the left and right, and the physics can be custom and stuff like this. But let's not do this. Let's actually again work with items themselves. So what do you, Andrew, what do you not like about this list?
Well, I have no idea where one thing starts and another thing ends. That would be one thing.
So we might want to do padding, maybe?
Yeah.
Or,
just a little. I mean, that would certainly set them apart, right?
Oh, look. Padding.
Oh, that was cool. How'd you get that to come up?
Oh, Alt-Enter.
Okay.
So we have some padding. We could do more.
So padding is a widget, too.
That's right.
Interesting.
Is this better? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, another, like, distinct things.
We also probably want to show more than just the actual name, right? So for that, we have another widget, and that is called list style. I think that's the name. And it has title, right? So this wasn't a big of a difference. But the thing is that list style has other cool things like, let me format this, like subtitle, which would be maybe the number of comments.
Yes, we can start with that, sure.
Yeah. So article comments count comments. Oh, and this is subtitle wants a text. The cool thing is that so at first it's infuriating. You're like, I just want to add text to the subtitle, right? But then you realize, wait, so if subtitle wants a widget, which it does want a widget, then I can actually add anything to the subtitle. So your subtitle can be a meme, or your subtitle can be a small app with small scaffold, and
So you could just give it a widget, whatever you want.
Yes. So let's start with something like that. And okay, that works. You see?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. What about if I tap on one of these? Like, say I want to actually pull one of these up, right? Like, it's cool to look at the titles.
That's right.
And stuff like that. But what if I wanted to actually exit? How would we do that?
So we have tab here, on tab, really. On tab is just...
Is that just a property of the list tile?
Yes. So anything can be clickable if you, again, wrap it in a widget that is... I don't know how it's called. But I know the material way is to use what they call Inkwell. So Inkwell is another widget. And Inkwell is cool because it not only gives you on tap, but it also automatically creates the cool material.
Oh, the splashy
effect.
thing.
Yeah, the splashy thing.
Okay. I'm sure that's the technical term for it.
Oh yeah, splashy
the
thing.
Splashy thing.
So we're not going to do, well, I mean, like list style kind of takes care of all that. So even if I don't do anything here, now we can tap things.
Oh, wow.
And it'll do the right thing. But we can actually do things. So we want to launch a URL, right? And so this is because we're building an app that will work on both iOS and Android. We want to use something that will work on both. And for that reason, at least I know about a library or what in Flutter world we call plugins that will like kind of work for you in that respect. So basically we're going to import a plugin from our package repository, which we'll show you, and then we'll come back to this and just use that plugin to open things in whatever browser you have installed on whatever platform that you are running this on, right? So that package is called URL launcher.
So what did you just open?
Yeah.
That's a new file, right?
Yes. PubSpec, do you want to talk about this? No, I can.
I'm happy to be the person asking questions.
Yeah, I know. No, okay. So this is PubSpec YAML. This is the file where you basically configure a lot of things around your app. This is the same file that Dart uses. Flutter uses it. So there are things that are in every PubSpec, and probably the most important is the dependencies, which is basically you just say if you know what you're doing. Let's say we don't know what we're doing, and let's say
a reasonable assumption.
Yes. So if you don't know what you're doing, you go to Flutter packages, and you land here, and you're like, okay, I want to launch URLs. And first of all, you'll see it here.
So do a lot of other people, it turns out.
But let's just open it. And so this is basically all you need to know about that particular package. As you know, changelog example, it has installing, and basically what installing of every package on pub tells you is just go to your pub spec YAML file, go to dependencies, add this one. So that's what we're gonna do.
So just put this. This would be like updating your Gradle file in an Android app, or dropping a CocoaPod, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just do packages get. That's gonna install it. Hopefully.
You lied to us, Flutter packages.
You know what? I don't have time for this. So it might be that 3.0 depends on the latest version of Flutter, which I don't have installed because I'm on a beta, because I don't want everything to come up in flames.
So you're on a stable beta version, not the bleeding edge.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
So we now have URL launcher. Let's look at the example here. Your launcher. Okay, so it has two methods basically, two not methods but functions. One can launch, which basically checks like if you're ready for this. If on the platform that you're using, you can launch this kind of URL. Remember, URL can be more things than just HTTP or HTTPS. So let's do that. So we go back to main, and we
gotta probably import it, right?
Import package URL launcher. Okay, and we do. Oh wait, we don't have the URL in this mock. We have mock data, and we only have the domain, so we'll have to go around this. But anyway,
do you want to just add a dummy URL to each one real quick? I mean, we're not reloading, right? We can do whatever we want.
Domain. So we can do HTTP and the domain, right? Let's just
Sure.
And this is the article domain, right? Not very helpful. So now can launch, if you go to the info about this. Wait, no, I want can launch. Anyway, so can launch will give you back a future of bool, right? And if cannot,
if is a synchronous statement, right? You can't deal with a future in there.
So the reason why can launch gives you a future is because it could take some time before it knows that you can or cannot launch this URL. So we need to do this asynchronously. Let's see if this works. Okay. Async await is something that Dart can do, and you can basically, like, whenever you have a future and you want to wait for it, you do await, right? So now we're like, if, like, this is basically translates to first do can launch, then wait for the bool that comes from there, and after that happens, do this logic, right? So.
And I can do all that in my on tap method?
That's right. I hope so.
We'll find out.
Certainly hope. So we are awaiting if we can launch, and if we can launch, then we launch. And okay, let's extract this to fake URL. And this is also something that that brings back future. This time, this is because we might want to, just wait until it opens or whatever. But
if you have
we
like
don't
a music
care.
player app or something like that, you might want to know that you just left.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Maybe. I don't actually know. Okay. I don't know. But we have that now. And so we can see if that works.
Oh, so I guess when you did the update to the pub spec file, you had to bring down the whole app.
That's right.
Okay.
A little bit
There
of
we go.
suspense. All right. So now,
So it looks just like before.
looks just like before. We can still scroll,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can click, and it launches, and it launches.
And there goes.
Okay. And this should work in Android as well. Should we try?
Yeah. We haven't pulled up an Android emulator yet, right? It looks like it might.
Oh, that's gonna take a while.
Yeah,
Okay.
starting from scratch is gonna take a second.
Let's.
Oh wait,
It's on.
that was a very quick boot.
How do I? I have it on so that it's like always on top, and now I can move it for some reason. So I cannot. Okay, let's do this.
We're very high tech here.
So this will go and initialize the Cradle things. So, you know, before we did Xcode, because we're running on this iOS simulator, now we're trying this in Android.
But the hot reload stuff, all that works the same once it's up and running?
Yeah.
Okay. And we can have two, we have an emulator now and a simulator going at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, poor MacBook.
I don't know if you're picking up the fan sound, but the machine is doing its best.
It's also recording the screen.
Oh, that's
right?
true. Yeah. We hope.
Go.
There we go.
Oh, cool. So, and we should have all the cool things like scrolling, and maybe we should call out how this is different. Like on iOS, it does this.
So that pulls down.
And
on Android, you get the shadow.
Yeah.
And that's out of the box. You didn't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
And it opens the browser. All right.
And so here you get the default browser, which is Chrome on the emulator, and you get Safari on the iOS.
Correct. All right.
Cool.
So I think we can kill this one. Thank you, Android emulator. Thank you.
Please take no offense as we force quit you.
All right. Maybe it's time for us to, we're still here, show you some of the cool things about the Flutter Inspector. So with Flutter plugin into IntelliJ, you get Flutter Inspector, which is something that lets you do, it gives you the ability to change platform. So here we're running on iOS, right? Mm-hmm. But because Flutter is drawing everything, like it owns all the pixels, basically it can like pretend that it's on Android now. So what we can do is just do this, and this doesn't look like much. Come on. But now you see that
there's the Android shadow.
Yes. If we go back, you can see that, you know, in Android you would have your title on the left. On iOS by default you'd have it in the center of the app, and so on and so forth. So that's nice. There's also things like performance measurement, right? So you see, like, do you skip frames? There are other things. Timeline view. Let's not go into this. But also we have these helpful things that will tell you, like, oh, there's padding here. This one is scrolling, and so on and so on. And then you can go and do. You can select, please. Let me select things. No? Normally you'd be able to select things. And of course you can look at all the crazy.
So those are all the widgets.
Yes, you get.
Whoa.
Right. And then you can go to a render tease to see, like, in the innards of Flutter how this is all rendered. But again, like, I think we'll go into this in another episode, maybe sometime in the future.
Yeah, clearly a lot there.
Yeah. All right. So I'm not happy because, like, I don't know if you noticed, but whenever I clicked anywhere, it just launched. So what I think we need to do now is, whenever you click on one of these things, one of these items, we want to expand that item and then show you a way to open the comments. Or
Want to whiteboard it out here?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So thank you.
Go for it.
So you click on this one and oh, it doesn't. Thank you, Andrew.
I'm a very helpful assistant. There you go.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So it's normally like that, but if you click it, it gets longer and it has some text and maybe there's a button or two for you to click. And then if you click it again, it will like unexpand back.
Okay.
Right?
So how are we going to do that?
Yeah, I think there's a widget that lets you do exactly that. Also, we didn't talk about like list builder and things like that. I wonder.
Yeah, you're just dumping a bunch of children in this list, right?
That's right. Yeah. So in a real world, and again, maybe that's just another episode, but you'd want to have infinite scrolling lists, right? Which will just load new things as you go along. This is obviously possible. It's basically you use the same thing here, but it's called List View Builder, and then you will provide some other things. But like now, just to keep it simple, we just have list view that has a finite amount of children, a list of children, right? So, but what I wanted to do is the expandable tile, right? I think. Let's see, expandable. Expansion tile. And so it gives us different things. So we are going to do children. Let's just do.
You want to just throw some text widgets in there and just see what pops up where?
Yeah. And we might want to need this later. Is this? Yeah. Okay. Oh, it gives us a little bit like this.
And so you got a little icon. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So title is the part that's on the top, and then
Right.
children is the expansion part.
Right.
Okay.
And we can obviously make this.
Can you expand more than one at a time?
Yeah.
You can.
Okay. So.
Is it changing the text color when you do
Yes, it is. It is.
Oh.
So I wonder, do we need this? Do we want this? I think it's pretty cool. So let's let's stay with this.
Yeah.
So this doesn't look good. So let's do let's do a row, right? We need a row. We need a thing that tells us the number of commands and then maybe gives us a button that will launch the browser. So I wonder if that is already doing a row because we're giving it children, not child. So let me just try, right?
You just give it two texts, see where they come up.
Oh, it gives us a. Oh, okay, that makes sense because
So it's a column then, right?
It's a column. So, but nothing prevents us. Again, everything is a widget, so nothing prevents us to do rep with row, right?
I gotta remember that Alt-Enter thing that you're doing. That's pretty slick.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then, so we can have a new button. Can we have a button? Flat button?
I think there are kinds of buttons.
Oh, material button. Oh, wow. Now I can.
There's a lot of buttons.
Drop down button, flat button, icon. Choices. Material button, okay? Let's not do anything yet.
So how do we put text in the button?
Child. So most widgets do have a child or children.
So yet again, you're just going to jam a text widget into
Yes.
it. Okay.
Open. Ha. All right. And that's
Can we give it a color?
oh sure. Like background color?
Yeah.
Case.
There was like a theme object up at the top, right?
That's right. So we can give it What color do we want? Colors. Red?
Sure.
Ugh. Yeah.
Every article gets a big angry button.
I don't know.
How about green? Green's a good color. Is there green? There we go. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so clearly we're not designers. So
Next episode.
all right, so this works. And also, I don't love that it's kind of squeezed here.
Yeah, we don't have as much padding.
Yeah. Well, we can add padding, but we can also, I think, we can main axis alignment. And let's see what's, yeah, space around maybe.
Whoa.
Is that better?
So what is
Space between.
so what is main axis alignment? That seems important here.
Yeah, so that's basically, that gives you, in this case, the row gets the full width from this part to this part.
So it expands to fill whatever contains it?
Right. So
Okay.
by default, you have main axis alignment start, which just in that space, you just start on the left or on the top or whatever. This is why it's like, because main axis alignment for a row is horizontal. For a column, it's vertical.
So whichever way you're expanding as you add items, that's your main axis.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you have cross axis, which is what's cross
Perpendicular
to that.
Yes. Okay.
So this is useful because like I could change this into a column and it would still, I mean, it would look different, right? But it would still take the same thing, right? And it would still like kind of work
So now they're
similar.
jammed up at the top instead of jammed
yeah.
up at the left. Okay. That makes sense.
So, and I think what we want is either space between or space around or space evenly. I don't know. Space evenly. I think this looks good. Does it look good?
What about just having an icon instead of the word open? Can we do that?
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
is there an icon for get out of here or something?
Icon button,
Oh.
which takes
Probably has an icon property that's not getting set.
yeah. So icon is, let's say, launch.
Oh, there you go. No.
New icon. Sorry, I always forget. Icons launch. Again, icon can be anything, and so we don't need this. This
Oh,
looks,
that's pretty cool.
This looks pretty good. I don't think we need green. Yeah. We're not designers. So so anyway, so we have that. I think that's pretty cool. Oh, it doesn't do anything.
Oh, that's right. We got
Yeah.
we have a blank on pressed.
So let's do
Fortunately.
this. Oh, yeah. Async.
That's crazy.
Right. Okay. So that works. The last thing that we wanted to do today, I think, was to enable you to reload. So obviously, if you read Hacker News, you are reloading like 5 times per minute. So we want to make it easy. And the usual way to do this on a mobile device is to, how do you call it?
Yeah, swipe down to pull to
Yeah, yeah.
refresh. Yeah.
And now I'll need your help because I don't remember what it was called.
Okay.
We can just.
Fortunately, we have this research machine over here.
That's right, and it is connected to the internet. This one is as well. So let me try. I found it.
Here on
So if Flutter has this Flutter Gallery app which tries to do a lot of the things and shows you how to do them. So this is available in iOS, I think, and Android, as well as a downloadable app that's just there. But it's also the whole app is open source, and so you can look at how they do things. And how they do things is they use, for example, for the overscroll, is here.
Oh, it appears to be a class.
Yeah. So
A widget that supports the material swipe to refresh idiom.
sounds like what we need. So we probably want to put it here around the list view.
Makes sense.
So rep refresh indicator.
And there it is.
And it needs what?
So child.
What is it? It's screaming about on refresh is required. Okay. So we do.
So this thing handles all the graphics, all that scrolling, and you just tell it what to do when somebody pulls it to refresh.
Right.
That's pretty slick.
So
you just reassign the list to our mock data.
yeah. You know what? So let.
Can you do like a toast, like on
Yes,
Android or
that's
something
what
like
I'm
that?
gonna do.
Oh, okay.
So,
There's no
Sure,
other
snack
snack bars
bar.
now. That's right. Toast is
new
snack bar is the new
bar.
hotness.
Context will be.
Are you going to give it a text widget? Because that's just what we do with everything.
Yeah.
Everything gets a text widget.
Refreshed. Oh. Okay. Maybe we need to somehow tell it to not do this. Also, it's async. So, a function that's called when the user has dragged the refresh indicator far enough to demonstrate that they want the app to refresh. The return feature must complete when the refresh operation is finished.
Return feature, you say?
Okay, so return. What does it need to finish? It's the.
I'm just going to look up an example.
Oh no. Okay.
Name of thing, word example. Let's see what comes up.
Oh, cool. Oh. We got a.
So I think it wants you to return a future.
Oh.
And since we're using mock data, we can't just steal one from the return value of some HTTP call, right? Or you
Yeah,
could.
I
You
mean,
could just
no,
want to just
so,
make
like-
a call to google.com real quick and
No, like if you want like so, in like we could just do return new future. Delete and have a duration of like maybe a second. And what it's gonna do is basically exactly what we want. 1, 2.
and there it went. Okay. So you made just a dummy future that completes after a second.
Yes.
Okay.
And it doesn't want any value there, so it's a future of null that this one.
Yeah, it just needs to know when you're done.
Yeah. So what we can do is we can sync and then we can do like await that future first. Just to be like look like we're doing something, and then we can remove.
You just pull the first one. That way you could see it.
Yeah.
So you're at the top.
Hey.
So like a remove at.
Yeah, remove add. 0. And set state. This is the first time that we use it today. Right?
So we're no longer returning a future, though. Is that okay?
Because we're in async, we are actually.
By default.
But well, yeah, when you're in async and you await at any time, actually by default, you'll just return a future of whatever. So in this case, we don't even need this here, I think. So because you have a return at the, so let's do this. Oh yeah,
There it went. Madly delete things all the way down.
Yeah, this will break when we get to the bottom. But let's not do that. Maybe, yeah. All right, so
so let's cover what we just did. So we made a brand new app in Android Studio. You ripped out most of the code that starts in the default app. We added a data class for the articles. We added just some mock data in a list. Then you dumped it into a list view that was displaying the titles at first, and then we added the comments as a subheading, and then we ditched that after. Then we made it so if you tap on the titles, you would leave.
Mm-hmm.
Then we switched to expansion tile, which gave us that nice little pop when you click on one.
Mm-hmm.
Added the button, moved the comment text, and added the pull to refresh. I think the only thing we haven't covered is the set state call you just added.
Right.
So what is that doing?
Yeah, so that just makes sure that Flutter knows that something changed. If we don't have that, then it's not going to break anything, but it's going to be weird because Flutter will not know that the list of the articles has changed since then. So it will just not refresh, right?
So you can change the state, but Flutter wouldn't know you did it because it's just sitting in memory who's watching it, right?
So nothing changes. Even though that first article is no longer there.
It's still getting displayed.
Yeah. But the cool thing is, again, stateful hot reload. So we put this back. And now when I do this, we will see how it removes all these, like all three things, because I just did the thing, but it just didn't show, right? Right? So it just went through.
So you should go down to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, so don't forget your set state. And as you can see, like you can go pretty far without even using one. But once you have state that you're changing, you might want to have set state there. We can cover again like how to deal with more, harder things.
Sure, we'll have more sophisticated use cases for this.
Yes.
In the next episodes.
That's right. So yeah, I think so we have set state. We have talked about all this. I think we're done.
Cool.
Yeah. So thank you for watching, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So next time, what do you think we're gonna do? We got to pull live data at some point, right?
Yeah.
What else can we do? We can tighten up the UI. I wonder if we could drag a designer into this and have someone help us with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think the next episode should start with actual data from JSON. But then we should like really have a hard look at this one, the UI, and make sure that we actually want this expansion thing, because maybe
it's taking up a lot of space.
Yeah. I imagine that there wouldn't be this thing, so I think we can just have something else. And also, what gets displayed here, like we have more data that we can show here, and then I don't think we could. If we have enough time, we can show, another screen, and that means navigation.
Oh yeah, because
most
these
apps
things have
don't
comments.
have just one. Yeah. Oh yeah, show the comments exactly. Otherwise, I think like for Hacker News, it's okay to just open this in a browser, right? Like I don't think we need to like parse the article or anything like that.
No, send the traffic back to good old YC.
Yeah. All right.
Well, cool. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back with future episodes.
Thank you. Bye.